is your American dream?
I think I have more of a global dream. I like the vision in Star Trek where there are no more borders and boundaries, and like everybody is of Earth. I kind of think these boundaries that we have that separate us and that make us feel like we are different from our neighbors, there has been a place for them in the past, but I don't know that there's a place for them in the future. I think the vision that I see for the world is one where we are all treating the planet as our home. Like that's our home. These arbitrary borders that were often stolen, often like conquered in a really horrible way. That's not the thing that defines us. It's our humanity that defines us.
Everyone has a right to the American dream. Hello. Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. Well, that didn't go as planned, but I'm here. Welcome, everybody, to Brad Show Live. Let's say hello to the squad. Alcia Stone, squad up. Westman on YouTube, squad up. Earth Angel Perch, squad up on YouTube. We see you. Elizabeth Francis, squad up. Chetty Man Bordy, greetings. Elizabeth Francis, squad up. Demba Sow, saying hello, my people. Elizabeth Francis, squad up, Uncle Brad, and the entire team. Chris, squad up, my man Chris. And Leonie Miller, squad up. Simone Garway, squad up. British, Everblessed Davis, squad up. How are you? Lisa Blinn, how is everything? And by the way, we have a pre-schmooze question from Shireen Lawrence. Shireen Lawrence with a pre-schmooze question. My husband's petitioned for me, and my child and I received my work permit and social security number. I have not received a social security number for my son. Is this normal? Well, if your son got a work permit, he should have received a social security number. If it hasn't come in the mail within, 5, 7, 9, 12 days of getting your work permit, contact Social Security. He should have gotten a social security number as well. Who else we got here? Oh, Shireen Lawrence with a follow-up to the pre-schmooze question of the day. Is that not normal? What should I do? He's 18 years old, but when we got married and petitioned, he was under 18. As long as the marriage happened before he was 18, your husband can file for him up until his 21st birthday. He should have gotten, as I said, he should have gotten a social security number with the work permit. Contact Social Security Bureau if you don't get it in the mail within 7 to 14 days. I said 5, 7, 9 days, but something like that of receiving the work permit. Tia Ford, squad up. How are you? Abbott Teo, squad up. Tony Wea, squad up. And Alcia Stone said she is at work, but hoping to watch her favorite show when she gets home. Jessica Leamy, how are you? And one more pre-schmooze question of the day. If someone has 2 work permits, one under VAWA, C9, and the other one under TPS, A22, is it safe to travel with advance parole he received under the VAWA case? Is this advance parole valid for TPS? The answer is yes, it is safe to travel with advance parole. If you got VAWA via an advance parole via VAWA, it is absolutely safe. Even if you had TPS, you're good to go. Edward Reyes saying, hi, Brad. KJ Essential squad up. And Shireen Lawrence with another follow-up. He does not receive his work permit. She received her work permit. I read the question wrong. Now everyone could read it. And the answer is, if he didn't get his work permit yet, sometimes cases process in different time frames. As long as he has a receipt for the work permit, he should get it. If he doesn't get it within the next couple of weeks, then follow up with USCIS. All right. So the answer is yes, it's normal. Sometimes takes a little bit to go back and forth. All right, guys, by the way, if you want to get on our show, you can call 1-800-529-5465. 1-800-529-5465. Internationally, it's 212-227-8933. Coming up, I'm going to be answering viewer calls. By the way, the telephone number, 1-800-529-5465. That's also the number to call if you would like to schedule a consultation with me. Internationally, it's +1 212-227-8933. You could always go to our website at www.lawsb.com. That's www.lawsb.com. And if you go to www.lawsb.com, you can text us. There it is right there, www.lawsb.com. You can send a text message to us and find out all about our law firm, Spar and Bernstein. It is not just immigration, it's personal injury as well. All right, let's get into some schmoozing with Brad. Let's see what's going on with immigration in the United States of America. There we go. All right. So on March 6th, U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, they announced the expansion of premium processing for certain F1 students seeking optional practical training and F1 students seeking science, technology, engineering, and math, OPT extensions. Those are STEM extensions, who have a pending I-765 application for employment and wish to request premium processing. What does that mean? It means they're going to expedite work permits for people on student visas. For F1 students to expedite their work permits in 15 days, they have to fill out the form, the I-907, along with their I-765 and pay the premium processing fee of $1,500. Otherwise, students will have to wait months and months for their optional practical training work permit. USCIS Director M. Jadou said the availability of premium processing for certain F1 students, in addition to the ease of online filing, will streamline the immigration experience for a great many international students. He didn't add this, but I'm going to add this to his quote, provided they have $1,500 to pay us. Now, USCIS is accepting premium processing requests for any work permit application that is pending for a person on a student visa. So if you have a student visa and you have your optional practical training work permit processing at this very moment, you can file for an expedite. Beginning April 3rd, that's the premium processing, but you got to pay for it. Beginning April 3rd, USCIS is going to accept Form I-907, that's the expedite form, filed either via paper or online for all I-765 applications. So if you haven't filed for your OPT yet and you want a premium process, then you got to file it concurrently after April 3rd. The expansion of premium processing is part of USCIS's efforts to increase efficiency, reduce burdens to the overall immigration system, and is being implemented in a phased approach. The addition of online filing for the Form I-907 brings the total number of forms available for online filing to 16. And USCIS continues to accept the latest paper versions of all forms by mail. And USCIS says that in 2025, all work permits will be able to be filed premium processing so that people can get their work permits in 15 days, provided you're willing to pay for it. In other immigration news, the Biden administration plans to redesignate temporary protected status for Nicaragua, according to people familiar with their plans. It's not clear when the Department of Homeland Security would roll out this policy, and plans were subject to change before final approval. Now, if you remember, Donald Trump sought to end temporary protected status for Nicaraguans, several other nationalities in 2017 and 2018, putting more than 300,000 people at risk of losing their legal relief. Last fall, the Biden administration announced an 18-month extension for temporary protected status for multiple countries, including Nicaragua. Redesignating TPS for Nicaraguans living in the United States would allow them to live and work in the United States without fear of deportation. Since taking office, Biden has designated 6 new countries for temporary protected status and redesignated 6 other nations, making a total of 712,000 immigrants currently in the United States eligible for temporary protected status. That's according to the Migration Policy Institute. Backlogs at the U.S. Immigration and Citizenship Services have delayed approvals, but nearly 537,000 people had temporary protected status as of November 2022. Now, Nicaraguans, they first received temporary protected status in 1999 after Hurricane Mitch wreaked havoc. Wreaked or wreaked? Wreaked or wrecked? Same thing, I guess. Havoc in Central America. The temporary protected status designation created by Congress in 1990 that helps residents from countries struck by natural disasters, armed conflict, or other extraordinary and temporary conditions. There was a total of 4,250 TPS recipients from the country in 2021, the U.S. Immigration Citizenship Services said in a congressional report. A record number of Nicaraguans sought to illegally enter the United States last year, fleeing political persecution and poor economic conditions. Those Nicaraguans who are coming in now, they are not going to be eligible for TPS. The Nicaraguans eligible for TPS had to be here in 1999. And in more immigration news, on March 6th, the New York Times reported that officials familiar with discussions within the Biden administration say they are considering detaining migrant families who cross the border illegally. The same policy he shut down because he wanted a more humane immigration system. Although no final decision has been made, the move would be a reversal for President Biden, who came into office promising a more compassionate approach to the border than his predecessor, Donald Trump. The Biden administration has largely ended the practice of family detention, instead releasing families into the United States temporarily and using ankle bracelets, traceable cell phones, or other methods to keep track of them. But the administration has turned to more restrictive measures as it struggles to handle a rise in migrants fleeing authoritarian governments and economic ruin in their countries. Officials also fear a surge at the border after May 11th, when the Title 42 public health measure that has allowed authorities to swiftly expel asylum seeking migrants expires. Basically, what's happening right now is they're turning people away at the border, but if you go over the fence, go under the fence, go through the fence, you are getting released and allowed to apply for asylum. Fear of going back home because you fear persecution. And people, sadly, or depending on what your situation is, if you had a valid asylum claim or not, it's going to take years before those asylum claims are heard. And in the meantime, people will get their work permits. So what they're trying to do is stop people from going over, going under, or going through. And that's going to be May 11th, because they're going to say, well, if you touch ground in Mexico and you're now in the United States, goodbye. You can't file for asylum anymore. So one of Biden's new measures include disqualifying a vast majority of migrants from being able to seek asylum at the southern border. And officials say the Department of Homeland Security is outlining what it would need to do to restart the temporary family detention by May 11th. So they're going to make it much more difficult for people to go over, go under, and go through. They're going to keep families together. A lot of times people come with their families. They say, okay, I got a family. You're not going to hold me. Now Biden said, you are going to be held. You're going to be held in jail. And obviously this practice is very controversial, mainly because of scientific consensus that detaining minors, even with their parents, can cause developmental damage. Family detention was also used by former Presidents George Bush, Barack Obama. They called it Barack Obama before Trump got here, the chief deportee, the commander-in-chief deportee. He deported more people than anybody until Trump showed up. Then Trump administration expanded the practice, detained even more families indefinitely, but his attempts to end limits on how long minors could be held, Trump's attempts were blocked by the courts. And in sad immigration news, On Sunday, just yesterday, authorities said at least 8 people were killed when 2 migrant smuggling boats capsized in treacherous surf amid heavy fog, marking one of the deadliest maritime human smuggling operations ever off of the United States shores. A Spanish-speaking woman on one of the Panga-style boats, which is a fishing boat, called 911 Saturday night to report the other vessel overturned in waves at Black's Beach. She said there were 15 people on the capsized vessel and 8 on hers. Coast Guard and San Diego fire rescue crews pulled bodies of 8 adults from the water, but fog hampered the search for additional victims. Recovery efforts resumed Sunday. No additional bodies, sadly, were found. The Coast Guard announced on Twitter that the search was suspended at 3:30 p.m. California time. Survivors may have escaped on land, including the woman who called 911. Authorities did not know anybody's whereabouts. Black's Beach is about 15 miles, 24 kilometers north of downtown San Diego, in a secluded area not far from the La Jolla shores. Now, hundreds of maritime smuggling operations occur every year off California's coast, and sometimes they turn fatal. In May 2021, a packed boat carrying migrants capsized and broke apart along the rocky San Diego coast, killing 3 people and injuring more than 24. Smuggling off the California coast has ebbed and flowed over the years, but has long been a risky alternative for migrants to avoid heavily guarded land borders. Pangas boats enter from Mexico at night, sometimes charting hundreds of miles north in complete darkness so that they would not be found. And lastly is some more immigration news about crossing the border. Effective last Monday, U.S. Customs and Border Protection has detailed 25 extra agents to a busy section of the northern border, as the number of migrants, particularly those from Mexico, crossing into the United States from Canada is now rising. At least some of those agents temporarily reassigned to the northern border were formerly stationed on the southern border, according to a source at Department of Homeland Security. NBC News previously reported on the rise of Mexicans crossing into the United States from Canada after legally arriving in Canada by air. Though the Mexican border remains a far busier sector for crossings by undocumented migrants, the source said the recent surge at the Canadian border is garnering attention inside the agency, and they are going to be sending more resources there. A Customs and Border Patrol spokesperson said the agency began temporarily deploying Border Patrol agents from sectors not experiencing an influx to the Swanton section of the U.S.-Canadian border. I had to look up what the Swanton section was. I didn't even know what it was. It's Vermont, New Hampshire, and New York. That's the Swanton section. I learned something new, even at my age. And it has experienced an 846% increase in the apprehensions from October 22 through this January, compared with the same period a year prior. The Swanton sector Chief Patrol Agent Robert Garcia said he's concerned about the welfare of migrants trying to cross through the frigid terrains. There's a lot of snow up there, and as a matter of fact, tonight they're expecting a nor'easter. So it's a lot of snow to cross over undocumented. And some good news for undocumented immigrants. Immigration status is no longer going to disqualify more than 80,000 people from getting driver's licenses in the state of Minnesota under a bill signed by Governor Tim Walz on Tuesday, March 7th. Supporters of the effort, dubbed Driver's Licenses for All, say it will improve public safety by ensuring that all drivers are licensed and insured and have taken driver's education courses. Backers include law enforcement, faith, business, and immigrants' rights groups. 18 other states grant licenses to residences regardless of immigration status. The new law, which takes effect October 1st, reverses a 2003 change by then Governor Tim Pawlenty, he was a Republican, barring people without legal status from getting licenses, citing security concerns after September 11th terrorist attacks. Applicants still must pass written and road tests and attest to their addresses in Minnesota. They won't be asked for proof of U.S. citizenship or permanent residency, but they must provide identifying documents such as an unexpired foreign passport, a consular identification document with a photograph, or a certified birth certificate issued by a foreign jurisdiction. Critics argued that eliminating the need to prove citizenship could create opportunities for voter fraud, Wall said there hasn't been a case in the last 20 years of a driver's license being used for illegal voting. And some scientists came out with some new statistics about Black immigrants in the United States, their population, their spending power, and their political capital. Stephen Hubbard, senior data scientist, and Robin Lund for the American Immigration Council recently highlighted Black immigrants in the United States in an article published in immigrationimpact.com. They wrote, Black immigrants make up a vital part of America's rich cultural life. Think of authors Chinua Achebe and Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie, musicians Miriam Makeba, Wyclef Jean, comedian Trevor Noah, activist Marcus Garvey, NBA Hall of Famer, and philanthropist Dikembe Mutombo, to name but a few. For generations across the United States, Black immigrants have enriched our academics, music, cuisine, fashion, dance, and more. The article provided very interesting data on the overall population of Black immigrants in the United States. The 5 states with the highest number of Black immigrants: New York, number 1, 737,000 Black immigrants living in the state of New York, followed by Florida, 676,000, Texas, 319,000, Maryland, 239,000, New Jersey, 225,000. The Black immigrant community is expanding at a fast pace in certain states. In about the last decade, the Black immigrant population of Texas, for example, nearly doubled, rising from 161,000 in 2010 to 319,000 in 2021. Maryland had the highest share of Black immigrants in the United States at 3.9%. New York has the second highest share, 3.7% of the state population. That means 3.7% of the state population of the state of New York are Black immigrants. Black immigrants make significant contributions to the U.S. economy. In 2021, Black immigration households generated a total of $153 billion for the United States economy. They paid $39 billion in personal taxes, $24 billion of which was federal and 15 state and local. This left Black immigrant households with $114 billion in spending power. Money households use to support American businesses, invest in housing, and more. And as the Black immigration population grows, so does their spending power, which is why you see people from all races and religions trying to go over, under, and through the fence, or take a rickety boat and risk their lives to come here. Look at the spending power of just one group of immigrants. While Black immigrants make a small percentage of the overall U.S. population, they are obviously more highly concentrated in some cities and states. In these areas, the concentration of Black immigrants means that they may be able to exert more considerable electoral pressure in state or local elections. For example, while there were 2.4 million eligible Black immigrant voters in the United States, a full 38.7% of those voters lived in either New York or Florida. And Black immigrants also make vital contributions to the workforce, particularly in industries facing labor shortages, such as healthcare and transportation. Black immigrants are more likely to work in healthcare than other immigrant groups. In 2021, a total of 719,000 Black immigrants worked in the healthcare and social assistance industry, representing 3.3% of the entire industry's total workforce. With healthcare occupations, 152,000 Black immigrants worked as home health and personal care aides, 130,000 as registered nurses, and 16,000 Black immigrants worked as medical doctors. The industry with the second highest percentage of Black immigrant workers was transportation, and third, warehousing. And lastly, if anybody watched the Oscars last night, the 95th Annual Academy Awards, they would have seen Ke Huy Quan's comeback reached its pinnacle with the Everything, Anywhere, All at Once star winning the Oscar for Best Supporting Actor. In his acceptance speech, Quan gave a summary of his life story, saying, "My journey started on a boat. I spent a year in a refugee camp, and somehow I ended up on Hollywood's biggest stage. They say stories like this only happened in the movies. I cannot believe it's happening to me. This is the American dream. Quan was 7 when he left Vietnam on a cramped boat in the late 1970s, landing in Hong Kong with his father, while his mother and 3 siblings went to Malaysia. The family was reunited when they immigrated to the United States in 1979, a move he said was extraordinarily traumatic. Quan told The Guardian last year, "We were refugees. Nobody wanted us. They would call us fresh off the boat. They would make fun of us when we were in school. You can imagine what that does to the mental state of a child." His life changed when he went to support his younger brother at an audition at the age of 12. Quan did not intend to audition, but the casting director suggested he try out, and he was chosen to play the Chinese pickpocket short round in 1984's Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. And he said director Steven Spielberg deserves credit for being the first person in Hollywood to put an Asian face in a Hollywood blockbuster. Short Round is funny, he's courageous, and he saves Indy's ass. Last night, Indiana Jones star Harrison Ford presented the Best Picture award to Quan, and after thanking the cast and crew behind Everything, Everywhere, All at Once, plus his wife, Echo, and Goonies co-star Jeff Cohen, Quan, who had taken a 30-year break from the spotlight due to lack of roles available to him as an Asian actor, concluded his speech by saying, "To all you out there, please keep your dreams alive." In 2018, after doing decades of behind-the-scenes work, Quan got inspired by the success of Crazy Rich Asians, began auditioning again, landing his Everything, Everywhere, All at Once role shortly thereafter. The Best Supporting Actor win makes Quan the second ever Asian actor to win the category, third Asian male actor overall to win an Oscar in the Academy Awards' near century-long history. The actor also won just about every award for a supporting performance, accepting a Screen Actors Guild Award, Critics' Choice Award, Film Independent Spirit Award, and Gotham Award. And that, folks, is our schmooze of the day. Before we get into answering your immigration questions, and you can call right now, 1-800-529-5465 to get in the queue. I'm going to be answering them in about 1 minute. I recently got to meet Zinar. She was a client of Spar and Bernstein who just received a green card. 2 lawyers had told Zinar she would never be able to obtain permanent residence in the United States. Not from my office, from other consultations she did before meeting me. But then she had a consultation with me. I assured her there was a way that we can help. And now she has a green card. And she flew all the way in from Texas so she could thank me personally. She never thought she would ever become a lawful resident. And then she said a few words for our Bradshaw Live crew. They filmed it. Let's watch. I think we're going to watch it. Perhaps we will be watching it. I think it'll happen. And if not, and if it doesn't happen, we will go to our questions. Why not? We'll see what happens. Let's see. All right. I guess we will not be, let's see. We will not be, we will be, maybe we will, maybe we won't. All right. I'm told just keep talking. Okay, we'll just keep talking. All right, we're going to go back to Jean later. Excuse me, Zinar later. I think we're ready to take our immigration questions. Do we have an intro for immigration questions? Maybe yes, maybe no. All right, I'm back now. All right, so we're going to answer your immigration questions. Let's go to Anthony in Richmond, Virginia. Anthony. 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 Not hearing Anthony. Let's go to Mike in Chicago. I'm not hearing anybody here. Mike in Chicago. Mike in Chicago. Mike in Chicago, we're not getting either. Why are we not hearing anybody? Let's put Mike on hold. Let's try Josephine in the Bronx. And if Josephine in the Bronx, we don't hear her, then we have technical difficulties. And we are having technical difficulties. What a shame. What a shame to have technical difficulties when we have all our lines locked. I don't know how to fix these technical difficulties. Let's see if I can fix any of these technical difficulties. Is there sound here? Maybe there's a sound button that needs to go on. Nope, the sound is on. The sound is on. Well, looks like I'm here by myself. So I guess we'll just have to go to some immigration questions till we figure it all out here. All right, let's find some immigration questions. All right, so Sammy has a question. If someone has 2 work permits, I answered Sammy's question already. Let's hide that. Shireen Lawrence, I answered. Yeah, I'll see a Stone says this is her favorite show. It'd be my favorite show too if we could hear some callers. I don't know why we're not hearing callers. Perhaps Jill, you can let me know if you're working on this, because I don't have any message from anybody. Let's see what else we have here. We have any other immigration questions? Here's a question. If my dad is a citizen and I'm here in the United States for more than 3 months and he filed for me, how long will it take? Well, if you're over 21 years old, it's going to take 7 or 8 years. You're going to end up overstaying your time. You're not going to be able to get a visa. Call center says they can hear, but I don't hear. So that doesn't help that the call center can hear, because I don't hear. So since I don't hear anything, how does that help anybody? Let's try one more time. Hello, Adam in Boston. Nope, I don't hear Adam in Boston. So we have a problem, NASA. I'm flying solo. We can't hear anybody, NASA. Nobody can hear nobody. I don't hear anybody. All right. Let's go. All right. Let's go to, we don't have any questions here. I watched a woman appreciating speech on Instagram. Thanks, Uncle Brad, for bringing smiles to immigrants' faces. Yes, I wish I could have brought that video here on our show. Brad, I know someone who just got his I-751 denied. He was with your office in New York. It's so stressing. Yeah, it could be stressing. Nobody says I'm perfect. Nobody says anybody who works for me is perfect. Nobody says we win every last case known to mankind. We don't. Nobody does. I'm not sure what this person's particular situation is, but they're always free to speak to me and we'll figure it out. Cynthia, my I-45 is admin closed. I finally got it reopened last week after removal proceedings terminated. Do you think the wait to be adjudicated same like when I filed a brand new application? Yes, it will be. You're at the back of the line, so it'll take about a year or so, unfortunately for you. Peter Michael, I filed for my wife's immigrant visa, but she got an admission. But she got admission? What can we do? I don't know what you mean by got admission. Explain yourself. Let's see. God's masterpiece. Is it safe to travel outside the United States with advanced parole if on TBS, but also waiting for an interview on my marriage green card? I was a derivative of an asylum claim that was denied. As long as you are not in removal proceedings, it is safe for you to travel. If you got put in removal proceedings, then it is not safe for you to travel. So I don't know, when you said your asylum was denied, what happened with that? So if your asylum was denied, then you got TP, and then you got ordered deported, but then got TBS, I would not travel if I were you. Abbott Teo, if someone came through the border, can they obtain status if married to a U.S. citizen? And also, they got a U.S. ID or driver's license. If someone came through the border, can they obtain status if married to a U.S. citizen? They got a U.S. ID or driver's license. If you came through the border, you entered without inspection. If you entered without inspection, you are ineligible to adjust your status except under one of three scenarios. Scenario one is that you're 245I. You had something filed in the system before April 30th, 2001. Two, you have somebody, you're married to somebody in the military or former military and can get parole in place. Or three, you somehow get a TPS or some other way to be able to get advanced parole to take a short trip abroad and come back. And then your last entry was no longer EWI, it was with inspection. I'm just looking here. There's a way, I would love to take calls. There's a way that we can get sound. Hello, does anybody hear me here? I do not hear them. I do not hear anyone. That is the problem. Okay, so that doesn't help me at all. And let's see. I have to troubleshoot live. Isn't that scary? No, I don't see where my volume is up. I hear everything else. But perhaps, Jill, what I don't see here in front of me is that the VX producer is part of the show. You have to put the VX producer as part of the show. I only see me and you. We are missing the VX producer. You have to invite the VX producer into the show. I know what the problem is, except I'm live. I can't fix it. You need to fix it. You're invited into the show. Brad's invited to the show. VX producer not invited into the show. Why I don't hear anybody? I'm controlling a computer, but you never put anybody into the show. Got it? Good. I will keep answering questions now. Hopefully, we get that fixed. All right. My husband is due to put his citizenship in May. We got married last July. I overstayed my visa. Should I wait until he's sworn in before he starts my petition? Well, he can file for you before he becomes a citizen, but quite frankly, it's not going to really do much. The day he becomes a citizen, the easiest thing for you to do is file the adjustment. The only good news is that probably by the time you get your green card, you will have been married to him for 2 years. So if you're married to him for more than 2 years, you're going to get your permanent green card, not a 2-year green card. Let's go to Franuki. Franuki, what does Franuki say? Franuki says, hi, Brad. I have to file an expedite for my petition for my daughter in July 2022. And the only email I received is that they are willing to expedite my case when they receive all the fees and documents. Brad, I have to file an expedite. What is the question? I have to file for my petition for my daughter at NBC. So the answer is this. You got to submit all of your documents for them to expedite it. They can't finish a case without documents. So, Franique, they're putting the ball in your court. They said as soon as you do the affidavits of support and everything else, get the police clearances, they'll expedite it. But until they have a completed file, they're not. I don't find that unreasonable. You need help, call a lawyer. 1-800-529-5465. It's 1-800-529-5465. I'm not sure if Jill is listening to me, but I know what the problem is. You have to add the VX producer. You have to add AnyDesk to the broadcast. It's not added to the broadcast. Got it. All right. She hears. Brad, if I was paroled back to the United States because I have an invalid conviction based on PC 1473.7. What do you mean by invalid conviction? Let's put this question up. Brad, if I was paroled back to the United States because I have an invalid conviction based on what is PC 1473.7? I don't know what that is. And then I was deported because my lawyer did not represent me the right way and did not advise me trying to. Well, Tony, this is the story. If you can get your conviction vacated because it's invalid based on 1473.7, because you had ineffective assistance of counsel, then I can bring you back because you don't have that conviction anymore. So this is an issue to deal with originally. This is an issue to deal with a criminal defense attorney. Vacate the conviction. Then you can come back with immigration. Immigration's not going to figure out whether this conviction's invalid or not. That's for the state criminal court judge to decide that. If they vacate it, then I can bring you back. Let's go to Bryson, 93. My priority date is June 2019. I'm in F2B visa. I'm in London. How long left for my immigrant visa to be available? You don't need a meal. You just need to add AnyDesk to the broadcast. There's supposed to be three people in the broadcast, me, you, and AnyDesk. That's why I don't hear anybody. Anthony, I know petty larceny comes under crime involving moral turpitude. I pleaded not guilty, and the case got dismissed with a pretrial diversion program. Whether trial diversion, my case comes under conviction for immigration. Even my dog is angry. You hear him in the background. I know petty larceny comes under crime involving moral turpitude. I pleaded not guilty, and the case got dismissed with a pretrial diversion program. It depends on what state you did the pretrial diversion program in. Some states, a pretrial diversion program is a conviction, and other states, it's not. And to determine whether or not your case, your state gives a conviction for pretrial diversion, we have to go back to what is the definition of a crime for immigration. The definition of a crime is, did you plead guilty? Was a sentence imposed? So many pretrial diversion programs require a guilty plea, then they tell you to go do some sort of class, and then they say we will drop the charges. That's pretrial diversion in many states, but unfortunately, that would be a conviction. Other states, it's not. So I need to know, Anthony, what state. I feel very bad for all the people who've been waiting on hold to speak to me. I'm terribly, terribly sorry. We have some sort of technical problem that I thought we would not have, but we have it. So I wish I would be able to hear you, but I can't. So today we're just going to do the questions, and I'll try to answer as many questions as we can. I'm really sorry. Next week we will have it all sorted out, and I promise everybody that we will be able to take a lot of calls next week. I myself am extraordinarily disappointed at the moment. I answered that question. All right. To read Mukala. Quick question, sir. My I-845 was approved about 2 weeks now, but I haven't seen any update apart from the approval. It's been 2 weeks. You mean your I-485? There is no more update. Your I-45 is approved. That means you've been approved for lawful residence. They're now going to manufacture a green card and mail it to you. You don't need any more update after that. Congratulations. Nikisha Boyd. Brad, if I'm married and my wife is living, all right, so call center. Unfortunately, Jill, if you can let the call center know that we're not going to be taking calls already because this is not going to work out. We're just going to answer questions and just apologize to people on hold. Brad, if I'm married and my wife is living in Jamaica and we have no children, what should I put on my W-4? I put 0, and the IRS says I must pay some money to them. I'm not a tax expert, Nikia, but I would speak to an accountant and figure out, is your company withholding too much or too little taxes? That's a situation between you and your accountant. Romeo Sawyers, how do I expedite my interview at the U.S. Embassy in Jamaica? My case would have DQ'd now that my mom is at home with her sick husband. You request an expedite. You show that your family member is ill with medical records and why it's a humanitarian crisis that they need to come immediately. You just explain it. That's how you expedite. When the National Benefit Center asked to submit your birth certificate, what's next, please? Priority date 2019. Well, obviously you filed an I-130 visa petition and you did not submit a proper birth certificate. You got an RFE. What would be next is hopefully an approval or hopefully another RFE, but hopefully not a denial. Hopefully you did it correctly. Let's go to this question here. The Stars family. After doing a biometric and vowel, what does it mean that the case is transferred? It means that your case was transferred to a local office for a final interview. And hopefully you'll get that final interview soon. Kirk Johnson. Hello, Brad. My wife filed for her father in Colombia since February of last year. Since then, she hasn't heard anything. USCIS website says under review. Any information you can share? Thank you. My wife's filed for her father in Colombia since February. I don't know what they're reviewing, but obviously it's under review. So hopefully those cases, those immediate relative cases, take about 1 year or a little longer these days to get approved. So hopefully it will get approved soon. But under review means they're looking at it. Casamita. Brad, I want to file for my parents. They live in New York. My question is, where can I file the lockbox. I file concurrently I-130 and I-45. You're sending it. There's an instruction on the application. It's the Illinois lockbox. That's where you're going to send it to. And it's right on that application. Let's see. Celia Smith says, I missed your question. Please ask it again. Sometimes I miss it. I'm sorry. I don't do it on purpose. I was trying to navigate everything. So let's see. And yes, Jill came out with a good suggestion. Tomorrow, we're just going to go live just with calls. So I will do calls tomorrow. It's not going to be a full show, but I'll come on. I'll do the calls that we didn't get to today. So I'm sorry. We'll get that all fixed. So you'll have a little bonus, Bradnick, tomorrow. See where we at. I lost track of where I was. That people are going to say I didn't answer their question. Did I answer some pool? Let's see. Let's go back a little bit. Oh, I like this person, you Mar. Brad, you're the best. Thank you. Appreciate it. And you're a Yankee fan too. Solo Ben says, my wife is dead. Can I get my green card still? Well, I'm sorry about your wife dying. If she filed for you and she died in the process, yes. If she never filed for you, you can file within 2 years of her death as long as you can prove it is a bona fide marriage. Tom said, I skipped his question. I don't see your question, Tom. Ask it again. Be happy to answer it. No reason to be sad. Just ask it again. Orlando, can I lose my green card if I'm separated from my wife? Can you lose it? No, don't ever lose your green card. It's 10 years. I'll have problems getting it back in the country after a short trip. Don't lose your green card. You have a 10-year, if you're separated from your wife, you have a 10-year green card, you will get it back. So I think the question is, you asked the question, can I lose my green card? The answer is no, don't lose it. I think your question should have been, if I lose my green card, will I be able to get it back? And the answer is yes. Just because you're separated from your wife, you have a 10-year green card, just go to the U.S. Embassy. They'll give you something to return to the U.S., but something better. Don't lose it. Hamida Amora. Me and my husband adopted my niece, and we have been living together for over 2 years. We have the legal custody adoption for almost 2 years. Will be 2 years this March. We would like to file an I-130. If you adopted a child and you have lived with them for 2 years, you can file for them, provided you've had legal custody for 2 years, they're adopted under 16, and you lived with them for 2 years. Generally speaking, though, what's easier than doing all of that, just for other people out there, would be, if they're in the United States, just do a special immigrant juvenile, get legal guardianship of them. Do a special immigrant juvenile. Legal guardianship takes a few months. That's it. You don't have to do a full adoption. Just show the family court judge that it's not in the child's best interest to be reunited with one of their biological parents because of abuse, neglect, or abandonment. Much easier case than waiting all these years on adoption. But the answer is, if they are, she's outside the United States, so then you couldn't do a special immigrant juvenile. I'm just reading it now. You would file the I-130 visa petition, provided you did live with them for 2 years, provided you did have legal custody. It's just an I-130 visa petition, and you file it with the lockbox in Illinois. Alpha, I have a felony for fraud. I have a green card holder. My green card is soon to expire. What should I do? Well, if you have a felony for fraud, it's possibly you're deportable. And if the fraud was a valuation of more than $10,000 and loss to the victim, that's an aggravated felony. You're automatically deportable. I would be speaking to a lawyer before you do anything. Don't fill out any forms. Nikisha still with her tax issue. The company is not paying out much. So at the end of the year, when I have to file to pay back the IRS, That doesn't make any sense. You get a salary, and the company withholds your salary based on your dependents and deductions that you want to take. So zero would be that they would be withholding the most money. If you say zero, which is what you said, you should be getting a refund, presumably. So I don't know what's going on, but you need to speak to an accountant about that. And let's see what else we have here. And Sampal Bhuman Rogarajan. I apologize. I butchered your name. My sister filed an I-130 in December of 2016. The F4, she's going to wait 9 more years. And if my sister's petition my mom takes 1 year and my mom gets a green card and files for unmarried son over 21 years, F4, F2B is faster. F2B is always faster than F4. Unmarried son is much faster than brother or sister. Let's just do one more question here. Let's see. This is a long one. You can only see my eyes when I do this. That's it. This is so long you can barely see my eyes. If I do this, you can't even see me anymore. Just my eyes. I'm in removal proceedings from an immigration judge, and I also have a pending I-130 that is pending for almost 5 years. I filed for the Liberian amnesty since 3 years ago because I was qualified. I haven't got an interview for the I-130 and not yet received anything from the Liberian amnesty. How can I get USCIS to send back to me about the I-130 because it has been too long? I don't know. The I-130 is based on what? Marriage to a U.S. citizen? What is the I-130 based on? But if you're in removal and you applied for Liberian amnesty and you're still in removal, and why are you in removal in the first place? So I would need to know a lot more, but sounds something's really screwed up somewhere because you should have gotten a Liberian amnesty. If you're married to a U.S. citizen, I-130 shouldn't take 5 years. I'm wondering why you're in removal to begin with. Last question from Tanisha Gordon Mason. Hi, Brad. My U.S. citizen husband petitioned for me. He filed everything concurrently. I got my receipt notice December 31st. I did my biometrics January 19th. By January 22nd, I got an RFE for more evidence. I need a new sponsor because my husband doesn't pay taxes. My aunt is my new sponsor. My husband is to write a letter stating why he didn't pay taxes. He refused to do the letter. He says he didn't know that this would be so much work. He says he doesn't want to continue. He said this is too much stress. Yeah, he doesn't want to write a letter because he's getting paid. Likely he's getting paid cash, and he's not paying taxes. It's too much stress for him because he's breaking tax law probably. Either that or he's disabled and doesn't work. But if he's working, he's got to pay taxes. This should have all been figured out before you filed. But U.S. government's not going to give you a green card if your husband doesn't even pay the taxes that he's supposed to pay. You need a lawyer. All right, I'll do one more. Brad, I'm a green card holder, and I filed. I'm a green card holder, and I filed. 1 second, let me just see something now. I'm a green card holder. After we told everybody to get off. And now I don't hear anybody again. We did hear somebody for a second. I did hear for a minute. Okay. Yes. You just have to leave it on. All right. All right, everybody. Call with your questions now. That's how we roll here. Everything's backwards. Call with your questions. I'm going to try to answer all your questions as best as I can right now. Let's see if this works. All right, let's see how we do this now. All right, let's go to Sam in Brooklyn. Sam.
Yes, sir.
Hi, how are you?
Very well, sir.
All right. And Jill, you have to, I'll tell you later. All right. What can I do to help you?
Sir, I am
I don't hear you. I don't hear you.
illegally across the border.
Sam, I don't hear you. You got to take a step to the right or left.
You hear me now?
Now I hear you. Tell me what's going on.
Yes, sir. I approve and so have removing procedure.
Sam, I'm going to ask you. We waited way too long to speak to people, and I don't hear you. So you got to take a step out of wherever you are, and we'll come back to you. All right?
No problem.
All right. Let's go to Anna in Miami. Anna. Hi, Anna.
Hi. Hi.
What can I do to help you?
Hey. Hey, Brad.
How can I help you, Anna?
Hi. 2008, I got married.
Anna, I'm also having, it's a connection problem with your cell phone.
I can hear
So,
fine.
Anna,
I can hear fine.
I want to help you, but you got to speak to me.
I'm here. You hear me?
You're coming in like you're in a submarine. Hold on. Let's go to Tanisha in Baltimore. Tanisha.
Hello. Good day. How does Mr. Can you?
Yeah, hi, how are you?
Okay. I'm the person who takes a while to my U.S. citizen husband who doesn't pay taxes and he refuses. Am I?
Are you talking into your phone, or I don't understand why. Are other people hearing, or is it just me? Is it me having the problem?
How can I continue that?
Do you hear me?
I hear you perfectly fine.
I don't know why I don't hear you well. Let's try one more person. See. Lynn in Newark. Lynn.
Hey, Brad.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, good, good. I'm just curious, the people who are listening, they're not hearing good either. The connection is poor. Yes.
Oh. So, you hear me?
No, the connection is poor. Let's see.
Oh.
Let's see now if this helps. Hello?
You hear me now?
Okay. What can I do to help you?
Oh, please, I want to ask you, I filed adjustment of status based marriage to a U.S. citizen in January.
Yes.
And I didn't send my joint bank account because I could not get that until I sent everything and I renewed my passport.
Right.
Can I send more evidence and upload it on my account, on USCIS account?
Say it again. What about?
Can I upload more evidence on my USCIS account?
No, don't. Wait for either bring all the evidence to the interview.
Okay.
Or wait for them to ask for more evidence. Don't volunteer with evidence. It's not going to be seen. So just wait for an RFE for them to ask for it. Or if they don't ask for it and you feel compelled to bring this extra documentation, bring it to the interview and wait for it to be asked at the interview.
Okay, can I ask more questions? This one,
Yes.
please.
Yes.
How long it takes filers from New Jersey to get the green card? I mean, all the process, adjustment of status.
How long? A green card for adjustment status takes about a year,
Okay.
right?
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Good luck. All right. Let's go to Binta in Brooklyn.
Hi,
Hi, Binta.
how you doing? My question is, I applied for my husband for I-130
Right.
4 years and a half ago. He have asylum removal, and then he picked apply for the Liberian stuff. So we haven't get any response from the asylum for like 4 years and a half now.
Right. Well, basically, anybody who has applied for asylum more than 2 or 3 years ago
Mhm.
could conceivably live in the United States renewing their work permits for more than a decade before you here. It is so backed up. It is crazy,
For the
crazy backed up.
For the I-130?
You said you filed for asylum. It's been 4 years, or maybe I misunderstood what you said.
No. I applied for him. I'm a U.S. citizen. I applied for my husband for I-130.
Oh, okay.
And he have a case, asylum case.
Right.
So I was wondering, like, how long it would take for them to answer for the I-130, because it's been 4 years and a half over there.
Where has he been ordered deported?
No,
Has he been in removal proceedings?
he's had interview thing next year.
Did he ever get interviewed for asylum?
Yes, for the
He-
first interview.
When did he get interviewed for asylum?
That was back in 2018, I think.
Okay, so he's in removal. He's in deportation. So if he got interviewed for asylum in 2018,
Mhm.
he didn't get through. Your answer to me is incorrect. He is in removal. He likely probably was ordered deported.
Yeah.
Yes, he was probably even ordered deported. So you need to get an I-130 approved and then make a motion to reopen. The government doesn't have a right to wait 4.5 years to make a decision on your case. So if the I-130 is pending 4.5 years, I think at some point you would either need to threaten a mandamus, file a mandamus,
Mhm.
or at a bare minimum, make the motion to reopen with the judge. But what you can't do is just sit around forever not doing anything, not for 4 years.
I've been trying to call.
I'm sorry? I don't know what happened to her. But she said she was trying to call immigration. Calling immigration is not going to help. We'll try to answer some questions. We'll get these technological issues resolved for tomorrow. Ralph in Miami.
Hello.
Hi, Ralph.
Yes, good afternoon. Hello, how are you, sir?
Ralph, what can I do to help you?
Yeah, I'm almost 8 years in here in the U.S. My mom is a U.S. citizen. He's 89 years old and hard to work because of heart operation. And my sister is also a U.S. citizen, but not me. Almost 8 years. And I have for citizenship here.
You're 18 years old?
No, I mean I'm undocumented.
I'm sorry, I'm having trouble hearing you, Ralph. Say it again.
Okay. Okay. My mom is a U.S. citizen.
Uh-huh.
Okay. He almost 20 years from now, and hard to walk. She's 89 years old. Hello.
I'm listening. Your mom is a U.S. citizen. She
sorry.
can't walk. She's 89. What is the question?
Because of a heart operation, and my sister also is a U.S. citizen. But me, I'm also stay here almost 8 years undocumented. Can I apply for as an immigrant or citizenship?
Your mom's a U.S. citizen?
Yes, for almost 30 years.
How come she has not filed for you?
I'm here in the U.S., so can we file for that? I'm
Yes.
here undocumented. I'm
Yes.
working as caregiver here.
Yes. Your mom files for you. You get put on a waiting list. You wait several years. You do a provisional waiver. If you're undocumented, you go home and come back. 8 years,
So,
you've been here. Your mom should have filed for you 8 years ago. You'd have a green card already, or pretty close to it.
So I'm going back
Ralph,
to my
Ralph,
country.
mom needs to file for you right now. That's the answer. Hold on. All right, let's go to Peter in Chicago. Peter.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Hi, how are you, Peter?
I'm good, sir. Please, I'm a green card holder, and I have filed for my wife. She's in Nigeria currently. It's over a year now. I filed for her. I want 130. So, but in the process, she, found a school and applied. They gained her admission, and I'm like, would there be a problem?
They're not. I doubt they would give her the student visa to come because you've already applied for her. So we just
Okay,
have to finish. You just have to finish the green card application as quickly as possible.
Okay, so do you think it's gonna take like how long? It's like a year and 2 months now.
It's going to take over
Like
2
about
years,
6.
unfortunately.
Okay. So she
Has the
shouldn't do.
Has the I-130 been approved yet?
No. Currently, they say they are reviewing it, but they say now.
I would file an I-129K right now. That'll get the I-130 approved pretty fast. That's a K3 visa to bring her here while she's waiting on the I-130. And what happens is, as soon as you file it, they end up approving the I-130 quicker because they don't want to deal with the K3.
Oh, so how can I do that? Can you help me do it? Because the attorney I have. What?
Hold on 1 second. Yes, hold on 1 second. And that basically everyone should be doing that. You file an I-130, case is taking too long for a spouse, file the K3, makes it go faster. Let's go to Sammy in Queens.
Yes, Brad, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. I can hear you very good. All right.
Good, I hear you much
my
better now.
question is, thank
Yes.
you. Yeah, so first of all, thank you very much for your all guidance. I was contacting you since last 3 years. And finally, after all that period, after the divorce and everything, I applied my citizenship, and now they send me RFE. I respond the RFE before their required time, and after they took like a year, now they finally scheduled me for my oath ceremony. So between my interview to oath ceremony, I got one normal speeding ticket, which is local ticket is 25 speed limit.
That's okay. You can be a bad driver and become a citizen. That's perfectly fine.
Because I sent them back for not guilty, and I received that letter. They scheduled me for in DMV court for the hearing. So I can take that with me?
Yes, you're fine. A traffic violation. It's not a traffic violation. It's fine. You'll be a citizen.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. God bless you.
You're welcome. All right, good luck. Let's go to Fran in Chicago. Fran.
Hi, Brad. I asked a question earlier by text.
What was the
Can
question?
you hear me?
Yes. What was the
Okay,
question?
so I was the one that asked you about my daughter. I have expedited her case.
Right, and you said I
And
answered. I answered the wrong question. What's the question?
Okay, so the question is, I wanted to know if they rejected the expedite because I haven't heard back from them. They told me that they're willing to expedite the case when all fees and documents are completed.
Yes, I did answer the question. You have to complete that first.
I did. She's documents are complete now, and she's in line for interview.
Okay, so then redo the expedite again.
Redo it again. Okay, because she got 2 sets of 60 days.
Yeah,
already.
Redo it again.
Okay.
It doesn't hurt to do it again.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Let's go to Anna in Miami. Let's see if we hear you, Anna, better now. Anna.
Hi, Brad. How are you?
Hi, Anna. Now I hear you better.
Thank you.
What's your question?
Brad, I was married in 2008. Got denied. And my ex-husband, they dropped the petition. And I received a letter mentioning he say he's over here. I say I was marrying him for green card. So the letter come and they have the word fraud.
Fraud.
We never talk. Yes.
Right.
We never talk.
Where are you from, Anna?
Brazil.
Brazil. Okay.
Yes.
And did you ever live with this man?
Yes.
Okay. And So why would they say it's a fraud marriage if you lived with him and you're saying it's a real marriage?
We enter interview. We are not good. Like we have a huge fight. And that day, the interview, all the answer, he answered wrong.
He did it on purpose.
So probably. So they separate us.
All right,
They
so
asked about my tattoo.
if your husband purposely screwed up to basically screw your life up, that could be a evidence of a larger pattern of extreme emotional abuse. Have you thought of a VAWA case?
That was 15 years ago.
I see. Okay, and you're divorced from him now.
Yes.
And now you're married
No, we
again.
have-
Now you're married again to someone else and you can't get a green card. Is that the problem?
I haven't tried yet, but I mean,
So
my
you have
plan is to
you
get
have
married.
you likely have a 204C allegation against you, which means that government says you committed marriage fraud. You can never get a green card for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Because your husband was a jerk and answered all the questions purposely incorrectly. In those situations, when you remarry for a second time and go back for your next adjustment interview, you have to prove 2 marriages were bona fide. Not only your current one, but you have to go back 15 years and argue to immigration that their conclusions about your marriage to your first husband are incorrect. It was a real marriage. And you just can't say it. You have to prove it. How do you prove it? Here's all the financial documentation we had. Here's my story about how we got into a fight and he purposely screwed up. And here's affidavits from 7, 8, 9, 10 people who knew us, who socialized with us, who worked with us, lived near us, whatever, however they know you. And they say it's all real. We have 7, 8, 9, 10 people saying it's real. So I've dealt with those situations before when you just overwhelm immigration with proof that it was a real marriage. And then you prove your second marriage is real. So you got a big hill to overcome, but something certainly that people have overcome in the past when they've been accused of marriage fraud when in fact it was a real marriage. All right. So hold on if you need help. All right. Let's go to Josie in Brooklyn. Josie. Josie.
Yes, hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, Josie. How are you?
I am good. How are you?
Good, good. What can I do to help you?
Okay. I have a 2-year green card that will expire on the 13th of September. If I submit my renewal application on the 13th of June to the USCIS, will it be received and classified within the 90-day window or it will be rejected?
It has to be, you have a 2-year green card. If it is received by immigration within the 90-day window, it will be accepted. If it's received by immigration on 91 or 92 days before, then it will be rejected. Don't play around. Don't play around with the dates. So,
okay. And
all right. So what I would do if you're anxious to get it filed, what I would do is on day 89, overnight it to immigration. And then it's received on day 88, and then you have no problem.
Can you say that again?
On day 89, you can send in all the papers overnight, so it's received by immigration on day 88. Don't play around with the mail. All right?
Okay. All right. And then my second question, if I have to travel abroad and then return 10 days before the 2-year green card expires, will I be allowed entry or I need to apply for the re-entry permit?
You will be allowed in as long as you return within 2 years of your green card expiration. When you file on day 89, overnighted day 88, about 4 to 6 weeks later, you will get a letter back extending your green card for 2 years. And you travel with that letter and the green card. And if you're already out of the country, by the time it's received, if someone can get the mail and send it to you, that's fine too.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much.
All right. Good luck.
Okay.
Let's go to Aisha in Atlanta, Georgia. Aisha.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, Brad. I'm good. How are you?
Good. What can I do to help you?
Okay, so I have a I-130 and I-485 pending, but I'm gonna switch my case to VAWA. I was waiting to get my work permit first before I do VAWA, but the work permit is taking a long time. Well, it's been over 7 months now, and I haven't received it. If I do withdraw my case, the I-130, will that push me back from getting the work permit?
Well, you have an adjustment pending. So if you withdraw the I-130 and convert the adjustment to a VAWA adjustment, it won't affect your work permit.
It won't affect it?
No.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay. Let's go to Anthony in Brooklyn. Anthony. Anthony.
Yeah.
Hi, how are you?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Thanks. Thanks for listening. Recently, I was charged with petty currency first offense, and I have done the pre-trial diversion program. It's a non-guilty plea, and it's from Virginia State, and the case got dismissed.
You did the what program in Virginia?
It's a shoplifting prevention program and community service. Yeah, pre-trial diversion program.
Okay, in Virginia. Pre-trial diversion in Virginia. Okay.
Yes. And the judge dismissed the case.
Okay.
So it's a non-guilty plea. So my question is whether it will create any problem for my immigration purpose while I re-enter 2 years or for visa status.
I don't know off the top of my head whether what you pled guilty to is a crime in Virginia. So unless
it's a shoplifting from Walmart.
I understand it. I understand. But so, as I said at the top of the show, I don't know if it was your question or somebody else's. Every state has, or many states have a pretrial diversion program. Some of those pretrial diversion programs are convictions for immigration. Others are not. So I don't know, unless I see your disposition, I can't give you my blessing to go travel. So in this particular instance, I need to see exactly what happened in the case, the disposition. I got to look up Virginia law, see what you did and what you pled guilty to, if anything, or maybe, excuse me, or I just sneezed. If you pled guilty to something or not, and then I can tell you whether or not you can travel. So hold on. You would definitely need a consultation. Hold on. Let's go to Fran in Miami. Fran.
Hello.
Hi, Fran.
Hi, Brad. My question is, I transferred from a marriage base to a VAWA, and I filed my VAWA case in July of 2022.
Right.
I got the biometrics in January of this year, 2023. Then February of 2023, I saw that case has been transferred for the VAWA case. So I'm wondering if it's that because of the excess amount of cases, or what I don't know. I'm calling because I don't know why it has been transferred.
It was transferred because you filed a VAWA case, and it could be transferred for multiple reasons. One, they're going to schedule you for a final interview at the local office. Two, they're just moving cases around from one office to the other. Maybe this office doesn't have as much work as the next one. You can't look into any underlying reason why the case was transferred, that it's good or bad. You don't know the reason. I don't know either.
Okay.
But it doesn't mean anything.
Alrighty.
Until you hear from immigration, it doesn't mean anything. So don't worry about it. Okay?
Alrighty.
All right. Good luck.
Thank you.
Let's go to Scylla in the Bronx. Scylla.
Hello.
Hi, Scylla. How are you?
Good evening. I'm fine. How are you?
Good. What can I do to help you?
I have a question for Uncle Brad.
That's me.
Oh, hi, Uncle Brad. Good evening, Victoria. So I filed I-485 and the
Right.
I-360 together, and the I-360 was approved. However, there was a part on the I-485 that said, "Is this child applied with you?" And I clicked yes for my daughter. So I don't know if I should file a separate I-485 for her.
You're married to a U.S. citizen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, a separate I-45, a separate I-130 for her.
Okay. No, I did a I-360, a VAWA.
Oh, an I-360. I'm sorry. Your child's how old?
She's now 15.
File a separate I-45 for her now.
Okay. And do you think I can do an I-912 for her, the fee waiver?
Yeah, you absolutely can.
Okay. Thank you. Have a wonderful evening and keep doing a good job.
Thank you. Let's go to Mike in Chicago. Mike. Hi, Mike. How are you?
Can you hear me? I'm fine.
I hear
sir.
you. I
Thank
hear you well. What's going on?
All right, thank you. Yeah, so as a U.S. citizen, how best can I file for a spouse who visits on an ESTA from Europe, from France? Do we apply from here when she visits or from her home country?
Do you want to be with her as fast as possible?
Oh, sure, sir.
Okay, so this would be my answer. Listen very closely. If you file for her from in France and she waits in France for her green card, it could be 2.5 years. You hear all these calls all the time. I filed a visa petition. I'm waiting. If she comes here on the ESTA to visit you, not to live, but to visit on the ESTA, and she stays here past the 90 days. I know she only gets 90 days on the ESTA. She stays here past 90 days. You can file an adjustment application for her here. So she's here every day with you. You're enjoying every day together. What the law says is if you made a legal entry into the United States, even if you overstay your time, you can adjust your status. There's another law that says if you file an adjustment within the first 90 days of your entry as a visitor, the law presumes you lied to the government. You said you were coming to visit, and here you are now saying you're going to live. So you change your mind more than 90 days after you come. That change of mind happens to be after the expiration of the I-94 of her ESTA, the 90 days. It's still okay. She can file her adjustment. Got it?
I got it. Okay.
If you need help, let's go to Sam in Brooklyn. Sam.
Yes, sir.
Hi, Sam.
Yeah, so good, sir. What I make a question is really important question. Everybody face this question, but no one give a right answer. Sir, my VAWA petition is approved.
Right.
And I am still removal procedure in court. I'm not on calendar. And
he said everyone gets this question wrong. He has a VAWA. He's not on the calendar. Sam, call back. I want to hear the question that everybody gets wrong. Maybe I will be able to answer his question. Let's see. We will see. We will see about that. Let's see if he calls back. Let's see if there's any other questions here in the meantime. From Julie Wilson. Hi, good evening. I'm a green card holder filing for my husband who is in Jamaica. I submitted the I-130. I got a response that they reserved my case till December 7th of last year, 22. How long will it take for him to get through? I don't know, but I don't know the answer. Jamaica is really backed up. I wouldn't be surprised if it's late 2023. I wouldn't be surprised if it's next week. Jamaica's crazy with the waiting times. Every country is, but Jamaica's pretty bad. Let's go back to Sam. I believe he's here now. Sam.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you have a VAWA approved. You're in removal. Your case is off the calendar.
Yes. I already applied I-485, but like 3-4 weeks ago, but I don't receive any kind of receipt notice. My lawyer told me maybe USCIS not have a jurisdiction, and other lawyer told me USCIS have a jurisdiction. I'm confused right now.
I know the answer.
Yes, sir.
I know the answer 100%. You want to know the answer?
Yes, please.
USCIS does not have jurisdiction over the case. They will send you a receipt notice. They'll send you a work permit, but they're not going to adjudicate your adjustment application. You have to make a motion to recalendar your case with the immigration judge. And in that motion to recalendar, you can request the case to be terminated, and then USCIS will adjudicate the case, or the judge will put it back on for a master calendar hearing, at which point you can request it to be terminated, or the judge will put it for an individual hearing, and he or she will do your adjustment at that individual hearing. 100%
okay.
Correct answer.
Okay. Sir,
I think Sam, I think
yes,
it should be with a lawyer, just my opinion, who doesn't say, I wonder if this is the right process. When your lawyer starts wondering if it's the right process, you're with the wrong lawyer. I think that's a good assessment of your case. Hold on. All right, let's but I thought that was very funny. Seems like everybody gets this wrong. It wasn't that hard. All right. If you become a citizen and your child comes here to visit, can he stay here and live with you while he files the I-130? Yes, for put in the I-130 more than 90 days. Remember, if you file an adjustment within the first 90 days, it's misrepresentation. After 90 days, it's okay. And then if you're a citizen, your child's under 18, and you put in the adjustment, that child's going to become an automatic citizen once the adjustment is approved. I am living in Belgium, but my family is American citizens living in Ohio. I'm 30 years old. How can I reunite with them? I would need to know what family you're talking about. Let's talk more about what the family is, and I'll help you. Maybe you can get sponsored in a job. Maybe the family can sponsor you. I would need to know a lot more information. Josephine Delome. I'm a U.S. citizen now, but I was till the green card forms. I put my niece in as an adopted niece, but forgot to put her on my citizenship application. Should I petition for her? I don't have the legal adoption papers, but I've raised her since she was 3 months. You can't petition for her because that's the question. Because you never legally adopted her. If she's living in the United States with you, perhaps a special immigrant juvenile petition. If she's in another country, you would need a consultation, but you would need a consultation either way. But no, you can't just say, I've been taking care of somebody and therefore I want to file for them. There's no legal relationship between the two of you. All right. I hope we have Zinar ready. I recently got to meet Zinar. She's a client of Spar and Bernstein who just received a green card. 2 lawyers told Zinar she would never be able to obtain permanent residence in the United States, but we had a consultation, and I assured her that I would be able to help her. And now she is a green card holder, and she flew in from Texas so that she could thank us in person and say a few words about her experience working with Spar and Bernstein. Let's watch.
Thank you, Brett. Thank you, Brett. Thank you, Brett, so much. You did it. I mean, a lot of lawyers was before that. I mean, 2, you are number 3rd. And right. When you told me, like, fire them, hire me, I trust you. And now I'm so happy I did it.
And I remember when I first met you were so sad, and now look how happy and now look how happy you are.
Yes, I am, because of you and your team. Marina also, yes. I wish she's here, but she's in Connecticut right now. I visit you in person too. I like to visit your team.
You came all the way from Texas to visit us, right?
I came from Texas, especially say to thank you, to see and share my happiness with you guys.
Well, I wish you all the best in the world. You're a wonderful person. You deserve it all, and congratulations on obtaining your permanent residence.
Thank you very much. Nobody was believing on my, like other lawyers was telling me like, hey, you will not get your green card. Just you say like, no, they don't know what they're doing, and I trust you, and now I'm so glad I did that.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Oh, Brad.
Oh, she was a happy lady, and congratulations on becoming a lawful permanent resident of the United States. Zanar, I was very happy that I was able to help you. If you're not able to get your immigration questions answered on our show, and you want to give us a call, you can always call 1-800-529-5465 to call. It's the same number that is being it's the same number that's being scrolled on the bottom of your screen here. Mika Hewitt, she was sad she didn't get to see me last time, so hopefully she'll see me the next time around. But you could also check us out on our web at lawsb.com. You can send us a text message. We will answer it. You could also follow us on Instagram at Bradshaw Live. You can follow me on Instagram at Real Brad Bernstein. I'll try to answer your questions there. You can follow us on TikTok at Bradshaw Live. And I answer 4, 5, 6 questions there with a video addressed to the person asking me the question. So you can follow me there on Bradshaw Live on TikTok as well. Later in the show, I'm going to answer a few more immigration questions in our social media check-in. Although we did social media check-in, I'll do a few more. But right now, many people, they don't realize that even if they've received workers' compensation after being injured on a construction job in New York, that they may also have grounds to sue third parties who also could be at fault for their injury. In this video, I want everyone to watch because I want everyone to realize and know Spar and Bernstein, fantastic personal injury attorneys, get millions and millions of dollars for people. Probably got over $100 million for people over our career already here at Spar and Bernstein. Big cases, construction cases, $3, $4, $5 million cases. But many people don't understand that they have grounds to sue third parties for their injuries. In this video, I discuss third-party construction accident claims, what they are, who could be liable, and how Spar and Bernstein can help you. Let's watch. If you are injured on the job in New York, you will receive workers' compensation from your employer. You are not permitted to sue your employer. However, you may have grounds to file a claim against other parties if they are responsible for your injury, including third-party contractors, subcontractors, or property owners. A third-party construction accident claim is a civil lawsuit against a party that is not your direct employer. Depending on the cause of the accident, third parties may include general contractors, subcontractors, manufacturers of a faulty or defective product, tool, or machine, property owners who have not taken steps to ensure construction site safety, engineers, architects, third-party vendors, utility companies, government agencies, and other people present at the accident site on the day of the injury. To determine who is at fault for your construction accident, hire experienced attorneys who specialize in construction accidents. They will visit the accident scene, talk with witnesses, analyze reports, access the safety records related to the construction site where the accident occurred, find information on additional safety protocols, and consult specialists in construction or other relevant fields. Hiring legal representation will ensure you handle all paperwork on time to meet your important deadlines. All right, so let's do a few more for social media check-in. I didn't know that was going to pop up. Okay, I'm going to start here with Anisha Miller. Says, hi, Brad. I did a joint I-751 jointly with my husband. However, my husband and I, the marriage is broken down to the point he won't go to the interview. Can I divorce my husband and do a waiver on my own? Absolutely. You can divorce your husband and do a waiver on your own. There is no law that says you have to stay in an unhappy marriage to keep your green card. So if you filed that joint application, don't let your husband manipulate you, put pressure on you. You can divorce him, throw him off the case, do the whole case on your own. And as a matter of fact, you don't even have to live with him anymore. And you just go to the interview and say, It was a real marriage in the past, but we're now divorced. And here's the proof it was a real marriage in the past. You don't have to prove it was a real marriage right now. Let's go to the Faulkner twins. I came through the border, but I didn't file for asylum. I got married to a green card holder last week. He will be filing his citizenship. My 17-year-old daughter and I are currently here. How do we proceed? Well, if you came through the border, you may have an immigration hearing. You may have to argue that you're an arriving alien in order for you to adjust your status. Other than that, you would have to do a provisional waiver, go home and come back. You still have to deal with this removal issue that you have. You're definitely going to need a consultation. Next process is call me, 1-800-529-5465. You'll see the number scrolling at the bottom of the what is the consultation fee. If you want to have a consultation with one of my senior associates, it's $150. And to have a consultation with me, it's $200. We credit that towards your fee. It's worth the money. I'm 60 years old, undocumented. Can I apply as citizenship here in the United States and not go back to my country? My mother is a U.S. citizen, 89 years old. Yes. I spoke to this person on the phone. The answer is yes. File the I-130 now. And you'll wait 4, 5, 6 years. If your mom passes away, one of your family members can take it over. You would have to do a provisional waiver, go home and come back. But it sounds like that waiver would be approved based on the hardship to your mother. And God forbid she passes, the waiver would be automatically approved under Section 204L. That approves all hardship waivers if the petitioner dies while you're physically in the United States. Carlton Pinnock. Brad, how can I get to pay my tax because I'm working and I would like to pay tax like everyone else? I'm over here a year now. And I'd like to get my green card. How do I get it done? Well, you can file a tax return by filing a 1040 return, attach a W-7 to it, request a tax identification number, and you will get a tax ID number to pay your taxes. All right, last question in social media check-in. Julie Wilson, hi, good evening. I'm a green card holder filing for my husband who is in Jamaica. I submitted the I-130. I got respond that they reserved my case until December. Oh, I answered that question. Let's do one more. Hello, Brad. I'm a resident in another country other than my country. I'm a resident in another country other than my country. Do I still have a chance to get my B-1 visa approved? I'm bringing my kids to the U.S. for medical reasons. Yes, of course. Just because you're in another country, you have medical reasons to come, you can afford to pay the doctor. Of course you can. All right, last one. Hi, Uncle Brad. Is it safe to travel on advance parole with DACA? The answer is yes. The airlines, Delta claims they don't understand advance parole. Delta understands. Just the lady or man you spoke to didn't understand. Delta understands. Don't worry. They will let you back in, and they'll let you book. All right, let's see where we're at now. We're going to watch the first part of a new squad versus crew game right now. Right now, the score in this ongoing competition is tied, squad 10, crew 10. So today's squad member, Joelle Ann Davis, known as Jessica Leamy Joelle, and crew member Jeremy Goldberg, who we all know as Jay Rhymes, meet in a rematch and go head-to-head in Immigration 101 to see what they have learned by watching Brad Show live. Play along at home and let us know how you do. Let's watch.
Hey, Brad Squad, Vanessa Contreras here for another round of squad versus crew. This time, we're going to test your knowledge on all things immigration. This week is a rematch between show fan Joelle Ann, aka Just Call Me Joelle, and crew member Jeremy Goldberg, aka Jay Rhymes.
Versus.
So the stakes are high. Do you both have your pens and paper ready?
Yeah.
Good. Then let's get ready to play Immigration 101. How are you two feeling today?
Excited.
Are you back for glory?
Yeah.
Jessica Leamy?
Yeah, I'm coming to win, Jeremy. Coming.
Let's see how much I know this time, and all I got to say is congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, let's get started. How long after getting a divorce can you file a VAWA application? Is it A, 6 months, B, 1 year, C, 2 years, or D, 5 years? Let's see your answers in 3, 2, 1. Okay, the answer is C. So the point goes to our squad. If a marriage ends in divorce because of abuse or cruelty, you can still file a VAWA petition within 2 years of the end of the marriage. VAWA is the acronym for Violence Against Women Act, but it applies for men as well. So, what is the term for a city that has policies in place that limit cooperation with federal immigration agencies like ICE in order to protect immigrants from deportation? Is it A, a sanctuary city, B, a sponsor city, C, a border city, or D, asylum city? Do you guys have your answers down? Let's see in 3, 2, 1.
Yes.
How do you know if that's the right answer? And it is, the correct answer is A. A sanctuary city will not detain undocumented immigrants or release their information to ICE following common police encounters such as traffic violations or reporting a theft. This allows police to focus on more serious crimes and create an environment in which immigrants are less scared to cooperate with law enforcement. In fact, a 2017 study found that sanctuary cities experience a crime rate that is 15% lower than in non-sanctuary cities. Next question. A Stokes interview occurs to determine that an adjustment of status applicant has a what? Is it A, clean criminal record, B, bona fide marriage, C, credible fear of returning to their home country, or D, established permanent residency? Okay, let's see what you guys got in 3, 2, 1. Okay, and the correct answer is B, a bona fide marriage. So, the Stokes interview is the second chance for a couple to prove they have a bona fide marriage. If the initial application and interview did not convince USCIS that the marriage was authentic. As Brad always tells us, you have to be able to prove that you live together and have an economic relationship. So get your paperwork in order and be ready to answer a lot of questions about everyday life with your spouse. And we learn about this all the time when we do our Bradified marriage games. So if you guys didn't get that one right, I was going to be very, very upset. Okay, which of the following people would apply for an employment authorization document, or EAD? Is it A, permanent residents, B, H-1B visa holders, C, U.S. citizens, or D, refugees? Let's see what you've got in 3, 2, 1.
Jeremy, why are you not following up the paper?
Oh. And okay, so the correct answer is D, refugees.
Oh, you're not that smart, Joel. Okay.
An EAD is the general name for a temporary work permit given to non-immigrants who are authorized to work in the United States, such as refugees, asylum seekers, or F-1 student visa holders. To get an EAD, you must file Form I-765, the application of employment authorization.
Well, Joel is ahead by Jeremy, 3-2, but the game's not over yet. So we're going to play the final part and see who wins next week on Monday, March 20th, when we air live again. I had said we're going to come back tomorrow, but since I answered all the questions, I felt bad that I didn't get to the calls. We'll be back. We're going to be live every Monday. So we'll be doing this again on Monday. We'll see who wins between Joel and Jeremy next week. I see Jeremy not paying attention as much to the show as Jessica Leamy. I see it all. All right, we're ready to do a speed round? Let's do it. The last 10 questions of the day. Let's see if I can answer 10 immigration questions. All right. We're not there yet. We are not ready yet. Seems to be an empty black screen. Nope. 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 You had it right the first time. Right there. Right there. We just got to get something in here. Something on that right side. No? Or you like that's better? You have to get something on the right side. Oh boy, 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 oh boy. Are we going to do a speed round? Let's see. Let's see if we're going to do a speed round. Maybe we will. Maybe we will. If not, we'll do a speed round next time. Can't wait for speed round forever. All right. All right. We'll do speed round. Let's just go to no speed round today. Yeah. No speed round. Let's, can we do comments of the day? Let's go to comments of the day then. All right, comments of the day. I couldn't read it. Went by too fast. Maniola Ruth Agabande. I watched the woman appreciation speech on Instagram. Thanks, Uncle Brad, for bringing smiles to immigrants' faces. Can't wait too. Oh, thank you very much. Amy, thank you for your unselfish advice to people that are having issues with their immigration status. God bless you more. Thank you very much, Amy. 29 Super C, good night, squad. Let's give Uncle Brad some love by clicking the thumbs up underneath the video and share it to your friends and colleagues who need immigration help. That would have been a nice thing to do. And Paulette Bryce, Cameron, Brad, you are the best immigration lawyer in the world. Blessings to you, your family, and staff. Thank you very much, Paulette. All right, so those are the comments of the day. We will get our P's and Q's in order, our technical issues resolved. And we'll see you back here next Monday. Thanks for watching. So, Sam, as part of the production, we have to say this disclaimer at the end of the show. Do you mind reading it for me?
Okay, but you know, Brad, I have to do everything around here.
Forget it. I'll do it. The proceeding was information only and not specific legal advice. Consult an attorney about your individual situation. Prior successful results do not guarantee a similar outcome in the future. To make an appointment with the Spar and Bernstein law firm located at 225 Broadway in New York City, call 1-800-529-5465. That's 1-800-529-5465. Easy to remember, 1-800-LAW-LINK. That's 1-800-LAWLINK. Once again, make a call to 1-800-529-5465. And of course, link up with the law offices of Spar and Bernstein, located at 225 Broadway on the 5th floor. If I were you out there, make the call, make the link, make the connection, make it Spar and Bernstein. 1-800-LAWLINK. That's 1-800-529-5465. And visit us now at our Connecticut office, 221 Main Street, Suite 501, Hartford, Connecticut. Visit us in Connecticut or in New York at 225 Broadway. That's 1-800-529-5465. 1-800-LAW-LINK, 1-800-529-5465.